Hello and welcome back to another garden episode. This week I'm going to be showing you how I plant my garlic. I in total planted 4 different varieties of garlic, and Mountain Zemo is one that I did not plant last season but will be planting this season. Basically, what I do when I plant my garlic is I separate the cloves, which is important. You don't want to plant a whole bulb of garlic. I separate the bulbs and I remove the wrapper just into the outer line or the innermost lining. I don't take off that last paper lining from the clove. And once I get all the cloves down to, or all the bulbs down to single cloves, that's when I will go ahead and plant them outside. So I did Mountain Zemo, Carpathian Mountain, Blossom, and then a mixture of Chestnut Red and Romanian Red that I had saved from last year. For the garlic that I saved on my own from this season's harvest, I'd put them in the refrigerator and put the silica gel packets in there to try to keep the moisture out of them. I was pretty successful in keeping them dry, and we'll see how that worked out for planting and when everything began to sprout. When it came to planting, I was trying to maximize as much space as possible in the raised beds. So I took a container that was about 3 inches in height and about 2 inches around, and I measured out from the center of each hole 6 distance for the columns and 4 inches for the rows. So I put as many garlic cloves as possible in these beds. And since the container itself, the deepest or the tallest one that I could find was only 3 inches tall, I ended up pushing the garlic down a little bit more just to make sure that they were fully in the soil and wouldn't be affected by any frost. I planted these 2 weeks prior to when we were expected to get our first frost. So that was mid-October. And typically the recommendation is 3 to 4 weeks before the frost. So I was cutting it a little close. But the reason I did that was that I knew that we were going to get our frost, but then the days were going to warm back up. So we did get a frost in October, but it did not sustain. The temperature shot back up to 50 degrees in the evenings, 50 to 40 degrees in the evenings. So I cut it a little short. If you check for your garden zone and find that when your first frost is going to happen, it's going to stay cold, you want to try to shoot for 3 to 4 weeks, not the 2 weeks that I gave it. But once I planted, I covered the garlic up with straw to give it a nice layer of mulch to protect it later on. I may do some additional adjustments to the bed afterward, but I did give it a good layer of straw to protect it from any critters, any frost that may come in unexpectedly, and that way it can make it through the winter and I can have a really good harvest. To keep the straw in place after I spread an even layer of the straw around, I did go and spray it down with a little bit of water. It had been quite dry, so the soil itself wasn't really dried out, but it definitely needed a bit of watering to it, so I just gave both beds a watering. In total, I planted 124 garlic cloves. I'm hoping to get 124, but I know that 124 doesn't always come back to what you plant. But I wanted, again, I only planted like 40 last year, so I definitely wanted to increase the amount of cloves I got back. And that completes a little bit of the garden. The end of this video, I'm just going to share with you with the chickens and them enjoying a snack. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. Please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. get some more.